Hello, bass family, and welcome to Everything Bass. So I'm still, during this whole global situation we're going on, I'm still teaching private lessons, but most of them are through Zoom. And one of the challenges I like to give to my students is to ask them to create a technical exercise, something interesting that can not only develop your physical skills, but makes you think, develops your ability to process musical concepts quickly. And one of my students who's been with me for years and years, he's a high school age young man, just starting high school this year, named Spencer. I said, hey, listen, man, I always create exercises and warm-ups for you. I want you to create one for me. And I gave him a parameter. Just pick any four notes, diatonic to, I believe we did it in A. And I said, just pick any four notes and make a phrase. And he started with a simple one, but it turned out to be a great one. He started with the root, the fifth, the perfect fourth, and the major third. So he played here, went up a perfect fifth, down a whole step, and then down a half step. And he did quarter notes. So the idea is I wanted him to be able to move that up through the A major scale using only notes of the A major scale. And that became what I was hoping for. See, I should back up a little bit. When I create an exercise, and I usually set a goal in mind, I want to work on this, I want students to be able to do this better. It takes me time, I work it out, and I think sometimes I get the most out of it. So I wanted to put that upon my students to get that experience, because honestly, you guys could, I may be, planning my own obsolescence, but you guys could actually create your own exercises. And because you're creating them and putting thought into them and having a goal, something you want to get in better at, and you focus and exercise on that, you get all the fruit off the vine, if you will. And that was the case with Spencer. So what do you do? What did I have him do, and what will I ask you to do? So you take this kind of melodic phrase, going up a fifth, down a whole step, down a half step, or in this case, I want to make sure you're going up a fifth, then you go down 2 scale steps from there. Okay, and the reason why that's important, so we're in the A major scale, like there. After you start on the root, then you're going to start on the second. Now you have to go up a fifth from there. So you would go up to this F sharp, and then go down to 2 steps in the scale. Now you notice I didn't just play the same pattern, because that wouldn't be diatonic, which means that would be including notes outside of the A major scale. I want to do this where I work a phrase all the way through the scale, from off of every note of the scale, but adjusting the pattern so it stays within the key. And that's where the exercise gets a lot of its juice. So you start by playing the first pattern, second pattern. Now when you start on the major third, the C sharp, you're going to go up, it's a perfect fifth in this case, and you walk down the scale again. Play off the fourth, go up to the perfect fifth. In this case, it's the octave A. Here. Now watch when you play on the major 7. You're playing on the G sharp here. It's not a perfect fifth, or you'd be out of the key. So this is the one scale step where you're going to play a flat 5 or a diminished fifth, a tritone, and you come down the scale. So the exercise sounds like this. Sorry, screwed that up. I was thinking about the next thing I was going to say. That's a great exercise for a couple reasons. You'll notice that my fingering varied quite a bit. It wasn't just the same pattern. It wasn't like playing a box shape and just moving the box shape around, where your hand gets really good at that. Here, technically, I'm doing string skipping. I'm using different combinations of fingers, but really the exercise is sharpening your brain. You're seeing the A major scale in a whole different way. And that's just great. Now, a couple things. First of all, if you're a Patreon subscriber, download the sheet. It's just written just what I played. If you've kind of got the concept and you don't need to download the sheet, there's some things I want to kind of push you to do. One is, these are all, actually these are eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3, and you could take any one of those 4 notes, the first note, second note, third note, or fourth note of that phrase, and make it 16th notes. So 2 16th notes. So you can go like, now that's a good exercise, because that might give you some new phrasing ideas for your bass lines and your solos. But now let's move those 2 16th notes to the second note of the scale, so it would be the fifth. Like that. Let's move it to the third. I made a mistake there. But you see, by moving those two 16th notes, you now created a technical exercise that's varied from the one that you started with. But here's the best part. You're giving yourself some ideas for like little bass lines, cool syncopations. Now, we did that by taking one of the 8th notes and making it two 16th notes. Imagine you could make now two, and now it's like dropping that pebble in the pond, and the rings kind of expand, and you can get more and more out of this exercise. You could do two of the notes, 16 notes. You can make them adjacent notes. I'm sorry. You can make every other, so it could be. You can make all 4 16 notes. That'd be a good workout for the right hand, or the plucking hand. So my apologies to our left-handed brothers and sisters. So you can see how there's no reason for you to get burnt out on technical exercises if you could create your own. You could just take Spencer's tech exercise, which is what I'm calling this out of respect for the young man, and you could take it and try different things. You could put a triplet, 1 and a 2, 3, 4, 2 da 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 ba ba da ba da da. You could do so many variety of rhythms, but keep that phrase the same. And you're expanding your muscle memory, you're expanding your musical ideas, and this one exercise you could spend a long time on, and I'm doing it. I've decided this is going to be like my focus exercise for all my warm-ups. And a little side note, definitely as you practice, take time to warm up. Sometimes we get so excited, we jump right in and we're trying to do some of the most complex slapping things, or we're trying to play a bebop line, and we get frustrated because we're tripping all over and we're not as good as we remember ourselves being the time we practiced before. That's because usually what you're most excited about is the thing you ended on. Your hands were warmed up, you were in the focused, you were focused on study. There's so many things you have to do to really get the best out of your practice time. And the first is warm up your hands. Now, a lot of times I'll warm up by doing sight reading, because I'm sight reading stuff that's not technically super fast or anything, and I don't think I can hurt my hands. And that allows me to kind of block out the world. It's become almost a meditation for me, and it gets me in the mindset for practicing. But this exercise is going to kind of take that place for, I think, a couple weeks now. And I'm going to see how many different rhythms I can. Now, boy, I'm arguing in my head right now, because part of me, for the Patreon family members, I might write out like some rhythmic variations. I'll give you the first download when you go to the site and you can find Spencer's Tech exercise as a post. You'll look at the files. I think the first file will be just as I played it initially. And then I think I'll give you like 2 measures of some rhythmic variations, like 2 measures with this 2 6 notes here, 2 measures with here. I'll try if I can get that together and put up later this week. So check it out. But it's really great. It's kind of it's a form of woodshedding that really, I just think there's so much value to it. So I want to encourage you to do that. And honestly, it makes Spencer so happy to know that bass players from all over the world are actually doing his exercise. Now, what would be absolutely the kind of cherry on top, the whole circle of life in bass community here, is for you to come up with some kind of diatonic phrase that you can go through. And you don't have to do major scale, whatever scale you're working on, any of the modes, diminished, you come up with some kind of cool pattern. Share it with us, either in the comments below. If you shoot a video, go to our Facebook group, our Facebook page really. It's Everything Bass with Dale Titus. Put a link to it, show us how, your exercise. This is where the best part of this whole experience of Everything Bass comes from, everyone chipping in. So I'd love to see what you do. Create your own technical exercises. I'll put it through the paces. I'd love it. I would absolutely love it. That'd be so great. So hey, so there's Spencer's Tech exercise, taking a simple phrase, root, perfect fifth, perfect fourth, major third, but then moving it diatonically through a major scale, A Ionian. And you can keep going. I just went into full position so I could end on that A, kind of resolve, sound nice. But you can make it a 2-octave exercise. That'd be the greatest. In fact, all right, I just added that to my practice schedule. So guys, I'm so excited that this is kind of the community I was dreaming of. And these are the ideas, bringing people together, sharing, not just being from me to you guys, but from all of us talking together. That's what I'm really excited about. And I'm so happy that you've joined me today. And I can't wait to see you at the next video.